How lucky are we? We live in Michigan and we are surrounded by the Great Lakes, and it is the largest freshwater system on Earth, which is super cool. Where does all that water come from? And, does it evaporate? Does it go anywhere? Where does all that fresh water come from? We're going to look at water and earth systems from here forward. And today, one of our main subjects of study will be the water cycle. Our learning target today is I understand the water cycle is driven by energy from the sun and the force of gravity. We know a lot about gravity right now. Energy from the sun we've known about for a while. So here are our key terms. Evaporation. Say it with me. Evaporation. It's the change from a liquid to a gas. Remember when we did this? How molecules move, they speed up, All right, our next term is condensation. Say it with me. Condensation. It's the change from a gas to a liquid, and you're going to put one example here. You'll find more than one example, of course, in your reading and stuff as you go through it, but really you just need to have one example. All right, our third term, precipitation. Say it with me. Precipitation. It's falling moisture. So you're going to list 3 to 5 examples here. And you'll have more than that, of course, but 3 to 5 will be necessary. This one might be new. Runoff. Say it with me. Runoff. Runoff is precipitation that doesn't soak into the ground. So it runs off into rivers and streams and eventually ends up in lakes and surface water and the ocean. Okay? So I need you to answer this question here. Where does runoff end up going? Almost like I knew that was going to appear there, isn't it? Our last term is transpiration. Transpiration. Say it with me. Transpiration. Transpiration is water vapor given off by a plant. This is super, super cool. If you've ever looked closely at a plant, you know that on one side it's real shiny and waxy, and then if you turn the leaf over, it's not so shiny and waxy. Well, there turns out there's little tiny holes in the leaves, and that helps with releasing oxygen, bringing in carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen, and also water vapor. Kind of like animals sweat and perspiration, right? Water gets released from your body to cool it down. Well, plants use transpiration and they release oxygen and water vapor into the air. They're actually a part of the water cycle. Today, I put a little star by our number 56 because we are halfway through all of our content for this year. And our page number 56 is highlighted. Make sure yours is too. All right, one more notebook page today. So our notebook page today, page 57, says I can label and identify the stages of the water cycle. And right here, I'd like you to complete an illustration of the water cycle. I'd like you to highlight and label these terms: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, transpiration, and sun. Why is the sun included in the water cycle? Well, the sun is what powers the water cycle, okay? So remember, it's the sun and gravity. And just in case anybody asks you, which direction does water flow? Water flows downhill, right? Gravity pulls it downhill. When you're done with notebook page 57, you should have something that looks like this. So the water cycle, let's start with the ocean. So in the ocean, the water evaporates, okay? And transpiration is just evaporation from trees and plants, right? So these are evaporation. The sun is what powers it. Condensation happens in the clouds. Precipitation, rain, snow, sleet, hail, okay? And then it hits the ground and it runs off and it either ends up in a river and heads downhill and ends up in a lake or an ocean, okay? So it becomes surface water. All right, so today you're gonna watch a video and then you are going to complete your notebook pages and then you're gonna take a tutorial. The tutorial is actually pretty amazing. It will take you all the way through the water cycle. It will kind of quiz you as you go. You can use your notebook to help you. And then when you're done, type in your first name and click certificate. And at the end, it will say like certificate of completion. You'll want to take a screenshot of that and submit it at the end of the lesson today. All right, enjoy your water cycle.